Welcome back. We're here with Bud, Stud,
Fun stud.
and
Judd.
Judd. There you go.
Fun stud.
Once again, this new day.
Shout out to New Day, by the way.
Oh yeah. I wonder if she's listening.
Did she still listen to us?
I don't know.
Did we lose our one follower?
Maybe.
Probably because we get no views.
No way.
It takes time.
Well, think about it. It doesn't. I think for me, it doesn't really matter if we get views. I think this serves to keep us accountable to keep reading.
Yeah, no, I like it. I do.
Because I don't
learn new
think
things.
it was really hard to do it last year without having any accountability. So I think this now is like, oh crap, the podcast. I gotta read the Bible.
Even I
This-
gotta
this-
read the Bible.
Oh,
Shut up, Butler. Say the same thing.
So yeah. Anyways, back to Deuteronomy. Today we finished Deuteronomy.
Moses dies.
Dun dun dun.
he disappeared.
That's true. They never knew where his body was.
Is he still alive?
He's gonna be coming back in the apocalypse when the two
Yes.
prophets come and do miracles.
No, I think he does that because I think the Bible says he goes up to the mountain to die.
Yeah, he
He
literally
died.
goes up and sees the promised land.
Did it say die or did it say sleep?
Let's see.
What does the Gen Z Bible say?
I know.
For real.
Because a lot of people think that he might be one of those.
Mount Nebo.
Because people think that he might be the one. Him and Elijah come at the end. What does it say?
It just says Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in Moab, as the Lord had said.
Okay, if he died, I guess he died.
That's it. But to this day, no one knows where his grave is. He was 120 years old.
I wonder where he buried him. If nobody knows.
I mean, somewhere in Moab.
Read it, JP. Read it.
This is the original. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. Gen Z one says. So Jesus bounced from the temple, and his crew rolled up to him, flexing the sick architecture of the place.
I mean, it's not wrong, right?
This is
not-
the last one. And when the Pharisee saw it, he marveled that he had not washed before dinner. Gen Z says. But then this Pharisee homie sees that Jesus didn't wash his hands before dinner, and he was all shook. Like, what's up with that?
What up with that? That's funny.
We have to read it in the Gen Z Bible.
But it is only 1426.
No, but it's look, it's only the New Testament.
I need to find the whole Bible.
I don't think there's a whole one.
There is. I just.
Oh, the Old Testament. Oh, it's
Yeah.
separate.
Uh-huh.
It's separate.
Let's see the examples on these.
Anyway.
So Moses is giving his final speech still.
A bunch of speeches, actually.
He just keeps on talking.
Just keeps on talking.
So then Moses knew they would disobey. Like I think I mentioned in the last part that he knew. That's why he keep reiterating the laws and what the consequences would be. And it's funny that they do the blessings and the curses. They were complete opposites of each other because that was to get them not to be rebellious or sin or turn away. So Moses kept on saying, "You have to repent." And then God would change their heart if they went back to him. So Moses commissions Joshua. Then Moses says that in the Feast of Booths, they have to read the law every 7 years. They have to read it out loud. And so
What do they call it? A song? You have to read the song. Yeah, that's what it says, right?
Song?
Yeah, that's what the Bible calls it. They call it a song.
Oh.
You gotta read that. But it's the law.
Yep, so God begins the transition from Moses to Joshua. And at the end of Deuteronomy, Moses is told to go up to the mountain to die.
Of Nebu. Nebu?
The mountain of Nebu.
Nebu?
So, and then Moses gets to see the promised land right before he dies. And so the people mourn him for 30 days. Then God buries Moses in an unknown grave.
Unknown location.
Unknown location.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I don't know who I've heard, it's probably a podcast somewhere where I heard that in the book of Enoch, or one of the books of Enoch, that supposedly Satan and the archangel Gabriel are fighting for Moses' body. What do y'all think?
Why would they be fighting for a body?
No, it says it in the Bible, I think.
Does it?
They contest for Moses' body. I think in the New Testament it says somewhere where
But why?
probably because of that he wanted to make a shrine out of him.
Interesting.
Yeah, and also you really can't since Moses' spirit has gone up with God, the body becomes just a vessel and he can probably use it. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think, Manny?
Probably. And I'm checking to see where I think I'm looking for that verse.
Yeah, it can't be for anything good. And so they fight for it. But I mean, Deuteronomy does say that God buried Moses in an unknown grave. But then maybe devil could have just like dug it up or something.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Someone had to have buried it. Like, no.
Well, it says God buried it.
Oh, because he was by himself. No? Did he die on the mountain?
Yeah, he died on the mountain.
Oh, nobody was with him.
No.
So how'd they know he was dead?
Yeah, because they mourned him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd they know he was dead?
Did they go up the mountain and not find him?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone confirmed. But I think, well, because the leadership went to Joshua, maybe God told Joshua, okay, he's dead.
Oh, maybe.
So he's not really dead. He's still alive.
So you're questioning God.
He's alive somewhere. Don't we all question God?
In our heart.
Moses? Or who do you think? About?
Yes.
I don't know.
So was Moses the only man to have known God like that intimately?
Enoch?
Enoch. I thought he... Oh, you're right. No.
So Jude 1:9, the SV, the ESV or NIV, whatever. Which one?
Yeah, I mean,
NIV says, Jude 1:9. But even the archangel Michael, when he was disputing with the devil about the body of Moses, did not himself dare to condemn him for slander, but said, "The Lord rebuke you."
So the devil wanted Moses' body?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that just confirms our thoughts that they would have worshipped him and made like idols of him. I mean, look what the Catholic Church does with like the bodies of saints and stuff. I don't know if y'all seen that, but supposedly, like when there's these saints or whatever, that when they die, their body doesn't decomp; it stays perfect. So they're in a...
That's called mummification.
No, they're not mummified. They're the same way when they lay down and died, the exact same way. They're not touched.
And they look the same?
They look the exact same.
I'm
No.
pretty sure they're probably embalmed because if you have liquids, you'll rot out.
Maybe.
So that's probably another way to preserve it.
But so they're in a glass coffin and they go and they worship the saint or whatever and they pray to it. They probably wanted to do that with Moses. Look, I showed you a picture. It's crazy.
See?
That's crazy.
Those are Catholics for you.
Weirdos.
So the end has come
Let the comment.
for the Pentateuch. We are done with the 5 books of the law.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now we're in Joshua.
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 Yeah.
So they consider Joshua the second Moses because they devoted themselves to follow Joshua.
So
They did?
Joshua,
Mhm.
he got
They-
inaugurated first, and then he became the leader.
Yes. Moses touched him,
Mhm.
and he was
Filled with the Spirit.
probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what seems to happen with people back then.
yeah, it says that's what it says. Joshua was filled with the spirit of wisdom because Moses had laid hands on him. So the Israelites listened to him and did what the Lord had commanded Moses.
Seems almost like Elijah and Elijah.
Maybe, yeah.
But also that happens too with like the judges later on. If they were spirit filled.
So do preachers try to do that today?
I think people pray when they get, like, you're gonna become a pastor or something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, because they
Mhm.
ordain you and they anoint
Yeah,
you with
something like
oil,
that.
right? Yeah.
I can see that, but other stuff like
Yeah.
Man, they be ordaining people left and right, man. Everybody and their mama's ordained now.
I know you can get it online.
Yeah, like I did.
If you are inquiring of or your minister services, we got
Weddings, funerals, divorces. I do everything.
you. All of it.
Wrong. Like, how much did your brother pay in the civil one?
Later we should have realized, or you should have said something.
I
You
totally
could have
forgot
married
about it.
Sebas for free.
you would have just been like, you take her, you take him. All right, let's
Cool.
go.
Let's go.
You could have, yeah. I don't know. They
He
paid
paid
like
like-
a couple hundred for that guy.
300 or so
Yeah, it's just weirdo.
for what? 10 minutes of work.
Yeah, just give us dinner. We're good.
He's gonna run it up. You take her, yes or no?
Just
Anybody check? No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you could have done it.
Yeah. Totally forgot.
How do you forget?
So I guess Joshua had the power to marry people now.
guess so.
Probably.
He was ordained by God.
Well, Joshua was
yes.
like a military guy, no? His main, as we read through Joshua, we'll see, he's mainly, and I told Paulo, dang, I thought they were just going to be given the land. They have to actually, I forgot, they have to fight. They have to drive these people out of here and claim it.
Yeah.
Which God already told him, it's yours. You just have to go and do as I say. So I guess that's the good thing. Like he already, they know it's going to be theirs.
Yeah.
I just forgot that.
Well, it's literally what you just said. It's yours, but you have to do what I say.
Right. To get it.
I wonder this. You think if Moses would have not disobeyed, you think he would have had the guts and the strength to be that military type leader that they needed?
No, I think that would have still fallen to Joshua. He would have been behind. But I mean, it really doesn't even matter because God already knew he wasn't going to be there. So the only reason why it's structured like this is because he knew Moses wasn't going to go through.
But it already had happened. I already remember. And the fight before, Moses was on top with his hands up, and wasn't Joshua down there fighting?
Yeah, it was already like that. So
Yeah.
it would probably have been the same thing.
Yeah.
So Joshua sends spies to scope out the land, but actually he sends them to the first city, which is Jericho. And Jericho, I think it said they had like, what was it, like really thick walls.
High, thick walls.
Yeah, thick
Right.
enough to where the poor people lived within the walls.
Oh, that's how thick
that's
they
just
were.
crazy. Yeah, they lived in the walls, which is insane. And
Whoa.
so,
Walls trigger manual. Sorry, guys. As a former alien.
Wrong.
So the spies go in, try to scope out the city, and they end up in one of
Somebody's house.
somebody's house, which is
Rahab.
called Rahab.
She's a prostitute.
But hey, she did good.
Mm-hmm.
She listened.
God
to
uses all people.
Well, no,
And,
go ahead.
and also, isn't it interesting? I think that's where Jesus' line comes from too.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, you're getting ahead of us. Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
so they go into Rahab's house, but I think the podcast today was saying that Rahab might have been, like, I think she owned maybe like a business to where it's like a hotel type. So she had like a building or
She had the means to
section-
conceal him, basically.
yeah, and so I mean I'm pretty sure she ran like a brothel or something.
Probably.
Maybe.
But so they go in there and the reason why I think how you said that she did good in helping them, but I think it's because she already knows the history of the Israelites.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They've already known for 40 years that there's this group of people that came out of Egypt and they're just conquering everything they go nearby, and so the legend of them is already there. So she knows who
Right.
they are, and she wants to be, I think it's more of that she doesn't want to be a victim of it, so she helps out so that they can spare her life.
Mhm.
And I think it's also too because she believes in God. Because I think she knows that, I don't know if it's there where she says that she knows that God has given you this land.
Mm-hmm.
So by
Yeah,
her
that first night.
just by her confessing, I think that's what God also had mercy on her because she had more of a, you know what I mean? She know how strong her walls were and everything, and she already just gave it up. She was like, I know God already gave it to you, so we're gonna die no matter what. So you know what I mean? She was already like almost having faith there, just by knowing about that.
So the spies are there, and she hears that the king's guard or whatever is looking for these people because they know that they're already outside of the
gates. The
gates.
walls.
Yeah, I mean they know they already came through
Oh, yes.
or gonna come through.
And she tells them, "Oh, they already left." Right? Like,
But they're hidden on top of her roof or something.
uh-huh. Like, you go catch them. You might catch them still.
Mm-hmm.
So
They had
they-
just left. They're like 2 days, 3 days
Ahead of you.
journey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wait, did they already pass through the
The Jordan?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not
So
That's next.
So Rahab knows that they're looking for them, so she hides them up on a roof or something, and she covers them up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tells them, "No, they were here, but they left. They went that way. If you want to go check." So they go out there, and then he tells them, "Okay, I got them to go away. So you better get out of here before they come back, and then they find you guys." So
Mm-hmm.
and so she makes a promise with them, and then they make a pact that whenever
We'll
they come
spare
and take the land, we're going to spare you. You just have to put this velvet thing outside your window so that we know it's you,
Mm-hmm.
and all your family will be spared.
And you got to remain in the house. If y'all leave and they
Dead.
get killed, yeah, it's not us. It's not.
Yeah,
our fault.
it's not our fault. If they get killed, well, we told you how to stay. If they get killed, it's not on us.
It was her and her family, like her,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
her brothers, sisters,
Right.
like all those people.
Yeah.
And they said, well, but if someone does come in here and kill you, then that's on us.
Right.
So
But they were alive.
so they're spared.
Mm-hmm.
They leave out the back wall. They jump out.
Mm-hmm. And they conquer.
And I think the podcast lady also says that a lot of people ask her why does God condone killing the people that they're coming into the land of? And it's because the people of the Canaanites are just morally corrupt, like, and they do baby sacrifices.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you want to mingle with those people?
Yeah.
So yeah. So then Joshua, so the spies come back and they tell Joshua, right?
Mhm.
Hey, we met this chick, Rahab, whatever. She's gonna help us out, and all we need to do is cross, right? So Joshua then tells, okay, God tells Joshua, we're ready to go. So then Joshua tells everybody to cross. But what was different about this one?
They took the Ark of the Covenant. Right? Or no, that's not different. I don't know. I remember that.
Yeah, they did take the ark.
They split the river. Jordan.
But I think it's interesting that it also mentions that before, when they crossed with Moses, the sea just parted, and then they walked through. But this time, they actually had to walk into the water to get the water to split. So it took faith on them to believe that God would split the sea, the sea, once they crossed, as where before he did it before they crossed. Thought that was interesting. But I think this time they actually went in formation, like the ark first, and the I think it was, who was the second one? Judah is like the largest tribe. Oh, they might have gone in front. I don't know. But yeah, they cross uniformly now into the Canaan land. And I think they mentioned that one person from each tribe would have to pick up a stone so that they can make a monument of them crossing.
Yes.
And so that they know that this is where they came from. So now we're in chapter 5, where the city that the spies went to was Jericho. And they waited a while, because then God commanded Joshua to circumcise all the men, because they weren't circumcised with all the rest of the family before. So in order to make a covenant and be a part of God's people, they have to be circumcised. And I also find it so interesting that as soon as they crossed the sea, there was no more manna, because they had access to everything from the land. Right? I thought that was interesting.
Where when they crossed the Jordan, there was no more manna.
Yeah, it literally stopped.
Oh. That's right.
So then God appears to... so then there's this guy, right? He has a sword and a shield, and is this great warrior guy who appears. And then Joshua asks him, "Are you with us, or are you with them?" He goes, "I'm neither with you, I'm with God."
Oh, yes.
So, but I think the podcast that said he is actually God, because he tells Joshua to take off his sandals, because
He's on holy land.
He's on holy land, and Joshua starts to worship him. And if it was an angel, the angel wouldn't accept that worship. So it had to be God. So that was interesting as well.
He's everywhere.
One God, 3 persons.
Wrong.
Exactly. Wrong.
All right, the debate that never happened, but still.
One day.
So then,
Then he go to Jericho.
yes, they go to Jericho. And how did that go? What did they have to do? What are the instructions?
They have to go around, right?
To circle the city once for 7 days. No, for 6 days, and on the 7th day, circle it 7 times, right?
With the trumpet.
With the trumpet, yeah.
And then it fall.
Like the song says.
How does it go?
Los muros.
Oh, yeah.
That one too.
That one too? No, the older one. Old one.
Which one?
Manu knows it.
Yeah, it's we used to sing it a lot at church.
Yeah, the...
You
No.
gotta do that one?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I heard
You remember that one?
we played that one too. but
Yeah,
that's not
but
the-
there's several ones. Several.
The church I was at didn't like that it said con un brinquito, that it wasn't about the jump, that it was about obedience. So he altered it to con obediencia el muro se
He
cae.
did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Which I get where,
technically it's not wrong.
yeah, I get where he's coming from. Because,
Yeah, because it's not just about a jump.
yeah, it was about the act of obedience that they did.
What's that song?
Anyways.
Caen los muros.
No. Manu knows it.
Los muros caen.
There you go.
Yeah, yes, that.
Y con ellas sus cadenas.
Yeah.
No sé qué. El Señor entregó a su mano cerrito.
I think we purposely sang that part 6-7 times. So
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh, we sing it a lot.
Y'all are culty.
We did that at church, I think. And
Yeah.
then people walked around with the handkerchiefs.
Uh-huh.
They would do that. I remember that.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Ham was there.
when he was saved.
Allegedly.
I don't know if you were playing or you were just like one of us kids is there. I don't remember they used to do that. I think we were kids. I don't think we were playing yet when that happened.
I live to forget.
Wow.
So the walls of Jericho come down, and then Joshua says, or God puts a curse upon whoever rebuilds Jericho,
Oh yeah.
which it has been rebuilt. So then, oh man, this guy is stupid Achan.
Oh yeah.
This
Don't they
dude
get
ruins this for everybody.
The
man.
idol, and he hides it.
He hides. Yeah, he hides the idol then with a bunch of silver and gold.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's just crazy because he just sabotages everything. But then it's also Joshua's fault for not talking with God, right?
Yeah.
Where
That's right.
they go to the city of Ai now,
Mm-hmm.
and they get defeated. And it's crazy because the people of Ai weren't that many people, but they still got defeated. And so Joshua was like, "Well, what's up, guy? What's up with this?" Gen Z Bible. And so God tells him, "Well, the reason why y'all got defeated is because someone in your group took some of the plunder that I told them not to take."
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Stupid Achan. So then, man, this is crazy. And I don't know. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying it's just crazy how this had to happen so that nobody else could do it. So Achan, he hides his things in his tent, and then so God tells Joshua exactly who it is, and Joshua goes to Achan and he goes, "Look, Achan, I know what you did, so just pretty much just confess."
Mm-hmm.
And he just tells
And he
him
does.
everything.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's under my tent. It's under a bunch of things, all the silver and gold and the idols. So they go to his tent and they find it. The punishment
They
is
stone
just
him.
crazy.
Or his-
But not only him, his family, all his goats and his cattle and everything. His kids, all the family, they bring them up to the mountain, they stone them all, and then they burn them.
Mhm.
You think anybody did it after that?
No,
No.
I hope not.
That's just crazy. So then God tells them, all right, go to AI and take him in, and you're going to win. Sure enough, they win, and guess what happens? God tells them, all right, you can take this stuff.
Take this one.
So if Achan would have just waited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Achan, wow.
So he was the one that had to have something with the rocks, right? With his sin, that they had to put a pile of rocks to bury it.
Oh yeah, something like
What
that.
was it, Manny?
You're around there somewhere. But I don't remember.
Who,
I don't remember
Aiken?
exactly.
Yeah, something with that. Yeah.
Yeah, over Aiken, they heaped up a large pile of rocks.
No, not that.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
No, they did that too, where they put like pretty much a monument so that people would know what would happen.
Remember.
Yeah, it's called like the Valley of something.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Valley of Acre ever since. That's what
The Valley of yeah, the Valley of yeah. That's it.
All right. So another thing, man, Joshua is learning on the fly, it seems. Like he's learning really how to be like what it is to be a leader. So these Gibeonites, they're pretty much the neighbors of them. And they trick Joshua into letting them live because they said they came from a faraway land.
Oh yeah.
And they deceive them by bringing
Old
like
bread.
even older bread, and they say,
that's
"Oh,
right.
like our journey's been so long that we
Yeah.
bought you bread, but now it's rotten."
Mm-hmm.
So Joshua, without consulting God,
Done messed up.
he makes a pact with them that they will not be destroyed, and
They become their slaves.
yeah, and so Joshua he gets deceived,
A
right?
bear or something.
And so so they become pretty much the laborers. They become
There you go.
woodcutters and
Laborers.
and drink bearers or something, water bearers, whatever.
Yeah.
And so because he deceived, but now he knows that every single, he finds out that the Gibeonites are actually their neighbors. But now when Joshua goes and tries to take over that city, the elders tell him, hey, you can't do it because you already made a pact with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be destroying them. So it's on you, bruh. Bruh.
Come on, Joshua.
Bruh.
Get together.
So, yeah, Joshua gets mad and makes them pretty much slaves. So now there's like this cohort of kings, right, all around Israel who come together and then conspire to destroy Israel, right? And so God hardens the heart of the people attacking them. And what was it that they for some reason, I think they flee, right, into a cave. And they find out that all the kings are in this specific cave. And then God tells Joshua for them to roll over a rock so they can cover them. And then I think he tells them to go and take over the cities and kill everybody and all that stuff, which is crazy, just bloody.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally God tells them to roll away the rock and then bring out the kings, and then he pretty much just murdered them all.
Basically.
How did they murder them? I forgot to mention or write it on my notes.
Put your feet. Come here and put your feet on the necks of these kings.
Yeah.
So they came forward and placed their feet on their necks.
Yeah.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I think they hung them too, right? They hung them, and then they pretty much brought them down that same night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exposed their bodies on 5 poles, and they were left hanging on the poles until evening.
That's just crazy.
Man, they don't play.
God don't play.
God don't play.
Yeah. And so let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much coming to the end of this week's reading. We're up until 11 now.
Joshua's bloody.
Yeah, this is just a crazy.
I mean, he's just trying to get the land that he was promised.
But also he's learning on the fly, and he's making mistakes, but he's learning from them. So by the time, and all these fights and stuff, they happen within years.
Yeah, it's not quick.
It's not like one right after another. It's years of this.
What did I say? Like 7 years?
Yeah.
I was reading on the notes that all this didn't happen, like you said. It took about, all of this was about 7 years.
Yeah, it's just crazy amount of time.
Somebody can imagine still having to wait 7 more years. Oh.
Yeah. I think one of the takeaways from this week is that I think a lot of people would disagree, like with all the violence and stuff, but I think if you never disagree, like if I would tell somebody, if you never disagree with your God, then you're just worshiping an idolized version of yourself. Does that make sense? Like, I think it's good. I think you mentioned it too, JP, where we said, well, don't we all question God? Like, yeah, obviously we have to. I think if you don't, you pretty much will be gullible to anything. And I think you look for yourself more in what you worship. So if you don't challenge, or at least challenge in a way where you're seeking answers, not challenge because you think they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's pretty much what because this is bloody. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Conquering, killing people. And the killing is because God knows that if they stay there, they're going to be influenced.
Conform to.
Yeah, they're going to conform and be influenced by the people.
Mm-hmm.
But what do y'all's takeaways, Manny?
Yeah, I think God, people forget if it, well, they don't believe in God first, right? But if you believe in God, He made the sin, the wages of sin is death, right? So I think He killed them because that's what they were going to do. But He's God, so He knows what was going to happen in the afterlife. He probably knew what Jesus was going to come and do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. So people keep thinking like, oh, like it was terrible, but you never know. maybe that was a way to him for have mercy actually on their souls or something. You never know what God's plan was. He just said to kill him because that's what, like when back then you sin, even Jewish people, they had to die. Maybe because that was just you know what I mean. That was the punishment, but you never know. That didn't mean like the afterlife that was gonna happen or something. If God had something more. Unlike now, after Jesus, if you die without God, that's pretty much it. But back then, I think that was just the law. It was one of those things.
Yeah, you needed to fit it. God will fit it into the purpose. It's not that it's just you're just discarding people. They're killed for a purpose. It's not just to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
It goes back to, I also thought that this was a very bloody start to Joshua. But you're right. God has to show them one way or another, like, hey, if you keep sinning, something's gonna happen to you. Like Manuel said, the wages of sin are death. And God's taking that very literally here. So he really is wanting them to be different, set apart, and he has to show them somehow. And so he doesn't take sin lightly. And so that's what I took.
1, I'm all for all the bloodiness. It's pretty cool. 2, whatever. It just shows that God doesn't do handouts. That he's going to give you the promised land. He's going to deliver the enemies to you. He's even going to go as far as make sure you win the war, but you actually got to do action. With the whole Jericho thing, I'm going to give you the city. You just got to just do this one thing. He doesn't really ask much of it. He just asked for obedience in the whole process. He asked for obedience. He told them, you're going to get it. I'm going to make sure your enemies fall. Just obey, man. Just obey. And 3, I'm looking at all the list of the kings he killed in total. What was that at the end?
Joshua?
31 kings in all.
That's pretty good.
Wow. That's a list.
Mm-hmm. That's what I got.
Yeah, it's crazy how even the podcast they says that the Canaanite land is pretty much the size of New Jersey. So that's a lot of land for that many kings. And they're literally right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy. But yeah, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us and catch you on next.
Peace.